Welcome back to Little Tummy's Big Challenges. If you're raising a child with celiac disease or navigating a gluten-free lifestyle, you know how overwhelming things can feel after diagnosis. From figuring out what's safe to eat to worrying about nutrition, healing, school lunches, and everyday life, there's so much parents are trying to manage all at once. In today's episode, I'm sitting down with a pediatric dietitian to talk about helping children heal, grow, and truly thrive on a gluten free diet. We discuss common mistakes families make right after diagnosis, practical lunches and snack ideas, how long healing can take, and advice for parents who may be feeling overwhelmed. My hope is that this conversation leaves you feeling supported, encouraged, and a little less alone in this journey. Let's get into today's episode. And today's guest is someone I know so many parents will learn from. Joining me is Asia Rahman, who's a registered dietitian nutritionist and the founder of Diet RD Nutrition. Her pursuit of nutrition and everything about food started with her achieving her bachelor's in dietetics from Michigan State University and subsequently completing her fellowship at Children's Hospital in Detroit to obtain her further expertise in pediatric nutrition. As a pediatric dietitian who works closely with families to help children thrive through nutrition. As a mom raising a child with celiac disease, I'm really excited for this conversation because I know so many families struggle with these questions around food, growth, and feeling confident in everyday life. Thank you for joining us on Little Tummy's Big Challenges. Welcome to our show, Asia.
Hi, Asma Joja. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. I really am excited to share my knowledge about celiac disease and all the different types of nutrition that we can help our clients with.
Thank you. So let's just dive right into it. What's the biggest mistake families make right after diagnosis?
Oh, great question, Asma. The biggest mistake I see my clients do is not being consistent. So inconsistency is the worst mistake that you could make as a family. It is really important to stay on track with the gluten-free diet, be consistent, not even allowing for a little tiny small trace amount to come in because it is very important for a child's health.
Thank you. And how can parents make sure their child is getting enough nutrition in a gluten-free diet, including vitamins, fiber, protein? Any tips you have?
Oh, great. So I think the first thing I would say is if a client comes to me or if your family is unaware of how they should feed their child, following up with a nutrition professional, just like myself, so a registered dietitian, we can take a look at the diet, the foods that the family is giving to the child or the adult, and then we would make sure that they're getting all the right things. But at home, I think it's really important to understand that variety is important. So, somebody with celiac disease can be lacking a lot of nutrition. The first thing is fiber. So, a lot of the gluten-free products are made with refined flours that are gluten-free, of course, but they're not giving you the fortification of the fiber, and they're not giving you the magnesium and the B vitamins and different nutrients that you need. So, number one would be making sure that we supplement a diet with fiber that is found from anything that's plant-based. So fruits, vegetables, beans, lentils, nuts, and seeds. That will also then further it by giving a client B vitamins, magnesium, and iron. So it's almost twofold where you're giving the fiber, but then you're getting all of those natural minerals that your body needs at the same time. The second piece would be a lot of clients get constipated in the beginning, so then they hold back on their dairy. That is extremely important to make sure we are supplementing with calcium and vitamin D then, because remember, you're growing and you need the bone health. The third major vitamin or mineral or nutrient that your body would need would be omega-3s, actually, because it helps with brain health and development. And it is a natural laxative too, which is really helpful for somebody who's constipated. So, recap, it would be making sure you get fiber from plant-based vegetables and fruits, and making sure that you get iron from your red meats and your dark green leafy vegetables and your beans, magnesium and B vitamins coming from, again, your nuts, your different variety of beans and lentils, and then making sure that you get your omega-3s by supplementing or getting fish in your diet. So those, and then making sure that we get a calcium or vitamin C supplement for that bone health.
Thank you. Some
You're
parents
welcome.
think some parents worry about this constantly. Like, what are some gluten-free lunches or snacks that would recommend for kids?
Yeah, so I think the first thing I would tell any of my clients is start off with their one safe food, their one food that they really love, and then build around it. That's number one. Number two is looking at food groups. So there's protein, grains, fruits, vegetables, fats, and dairy. So there's six food groups. You want to make sure you're picking at least three at a meal and then building from it. So safe food, put that in, and then build with the food groups. So a great example would be if your daughter loves turkey. Okay, let's start off with the turkey roll up. We'll get turkey, cheese, that's two food groups. Take the gluten-free roll up, cut them into little circles so they're little pinwheels, and then you go ahead and you supplement it with veggies with some hummus and some strawberries. So now you've got yourself a balanced meal, but you're really focusing on those three food groups first, and then one being safe, and then building around it. The second thing I would recommend is a gluten-free mac and cheese. It's quick and convenient. You can buy it already stored from a store in a package. Then again, we add food groups. So you could do little tiny meatballs. So now we've got gluten-free mac and cheese with meatballs, and then now you're supplementing the sides. Maybe you're getting an applesauce or a fruit cup, and then you get a fruit leather or a cheese stick. So now you're balancing each plate. So we got turkey roll-ups, mac and cheese. Oh, a great one would be like a flatbread pizza or a just a circular gluten-free pizza. You can build on it by putting in their safe food. So let's say their safe food is ground beef. You can put hamburger on the pizza. You can put tomato sauce. You can put cheese, and then you can add some veggies. So like maybe some olives and some green peppers. And then you build around it on the side by grabbing a glass of milk, maybe even making it a chocolate milk or a strawberry milk, and then grabbing maybe some pretzel bites. So easy. First, start off with a safe, build with the food groups, and then look what's in your pantry, look what's in your fridge, and make a list. Pre-planning would be wonderful for a family. That is something that dietitians can help you with as well.
Thank you. Thank you. And my next question is, how long does usually like the healing really, when does it begin after they start a gluten-free diet? Because parents always wonder, like, we're still seeing some of the symptoms and possibly this still happening. What is kind of your take on
Right.
that?
Unfortunately, Asma, I cannot answer that question. Actually, nobody can answer that question, to believe it or not. Only thing that can answer that question is your actual body. So everybody's body is different, everybody's healing process is different, and everybody's damage was different. So it really depends on how long this has been occurring for and how consistent you were with staying with the gluten-free diet. And then are you supplementing with the vitamins and minerals with getting the variety of foods? So it's really threefold if you look at it. It's how long has the damage been going on? How
Yeah,
consistent are you with repairing? And are you not adding in that inconsistency? And then are you getting in the nutrition to help heal? Because remember, nutrition is ever healing.
that's some excellent tips. And what would you say to a parent who feels overwhelmed by this?
Right. First, I am sure you're tired of hearing it. Be patient. It will take time. But really, it's finding the professionals that can help you. Do not browse on the internet. There is a can of worms that you're opening up that is just going to cause you more anxiety and stress. So I
Mhm.
would recommend seeking professionals, finding podcasts that with reputable sources, finding a registered dietitian that can be by your side and give you the guidelines and support that you need, finding a GI doctor that can give you support, looking for support teams or support groups for the kids or even the parents. So there are definitely things that you can do in-house or virtual as well. But I think definitely the biggest advice I would give you is looking for seeking programs.
Thank you. And, in closing, I just want to say how much knowledge you just shared with our listeners and how important that is. How can our listeners find you?
Oh, absolutely. They can find me on the web. You can go to dietrd.com and there will be some contact info. I am definitely available for virtual sessions and also in person if you're in the Chicagoland area.
Okay, so you can find dietrd.com, and she's also on Instagram and Facebook. This episode is intended for educational purposes only and should not replace medical or nutritional advice from your healthcare provider or registered dietitian. One thing I really took away from this conversation is that healing and adjusting to gluten free life takes time, and parents don't have to figure everything out overnight. In our next episode of Little Tummy's Big Challenges, we're talking about one of the biggest challenges for gluten free families: birthday parties, restaurant meals, and helping kids feel included during celebrations. I'll share some of our own experiences navigating parties after Sophie's celiac diagnosis, tips for restaurant safety, and how a local gluten free bakery can make celebrations feel special again. So, if you're ever worried about pizza parties, birthday cakes, cross contamination, this episode is for you.